Thanks for downloading a 3CR podcast. 3CR is an independent community radio station based in Melbourne, Australia. We need your financial support to keep going. Go to www.3cr.org.au for more information and to donate online. Now stay tuned for your 3CR podcast.
We're putting up new buildings, we're knocking down the old. We're working in the summer heat and in the winter cold. And the labour power we sell, me boys, for a hard-earned weekly pay produces mighty profits for the greedy MBA. And whether we were born here or born in Italy, in Greece, in Spain or Ireland, in England or Fiji, we all of us are workers, united we must stand, until the wealthy bludgers have been driven from our land. We faced deregistration, it backfired in the face. We're not fooled by arbitration, we won't stay in our place. We hit the bosses hard and fast to win and keep our gains, and break a couple of concrete pours to back our log of claims. So keep your powder dry and hold your head up high. It's class to class and face to face, our limit is the sky. We've got a fighting history and we never will be cowed. Our builders' labour is a name to make a man feel proud.
And it's good morning from the Concrete Gang, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed on the Sunday morning at 9:30 every Sunday morning on your AM dial, 8:55 AM, 3CR Community Radio. And we've got a great show for you this morning, well, you'll be the judge of that, but I'll introduce the gang here for a start, and then we've got a bit of sad news to start off. We've got Campo as usual.
Good morning, lads.
And we've dusted off Dave Noonan, the National Secretary of the CFMEU. Good morning, Dave. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Gorilla. It's good to see you, my silverback friend.
We're going down that road, are we? All right. You've gone too early, Dave. Yeah. Look, we have got some
It's plenty more.
We have got some very sad news to start off with. We only just found out, so excuse us, we've got no details or anything. But Leo McDonald, an absolute legend of the construction industry, the MUA, the painters and dockers. Leo McDonald passed away this morning. He's been pretty ill for a while, and look, it's just sad news, Dave. And unfortunately, what he did for a lot of the people, every time someone was in hard times, Leo was at the front of the cause, raising money for the families and all that, and he'll be a great loss to the trade unions, not just the MUA or painters and dockers, but everyone.
He was a wonderful character, one of the old Melbourne characters, and the number of people who are in hard times that he helped, you could not count.
Exactly. So look, we'll get more details. We'll give a bit of a tribute to him next week. But to the McDonald family, Leo's family, our condolences from the Concrete Gang. Vale, Leo.
Vale, Leo, yeah.
All right, so it's a bit of a sad way to start, but anyway, and Dave, we've brought Dave Noonan on today because Dave's announced his retirement, and well, first of all, we might as well we'll deal with that, Dave, and it's coming up next year, your retirement. We've got a replacement, and we want to know a bit of your history, Dave. Let's go back a few years. We want to know where you started, and then I'll interfere and tell all the horrible stories. All right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I really started in commercial building sites in Melbourne about 1985. I moved over from Perth, and I worked for a small builder called RJ Grills, and then I worked around lots and lots of small jobs. We did schools, hospitals, old people's homes. Did a synagogue in East St Kilda, quite a few different jobs, and ended up working on the South Yarra project, which was really Costain's management, and that was that time in the mid '80s. It was a very, very volatile time in the industry. Deregistration. We saw a lot of infighting between unions. But coming out of that, we also saw struggle for a lot of conditions. I think super had just come in when I started in the industry, but we managed to improve it a lot. We won the Green Book, which people talk about now, but that was the start of Incolink and redundancy. It was also establishing decent safety, amenities.
Yes.
Side
allowance?
Side allowance was established through that. Even things like milk, coffee, tea and sugar. You used to have to argue for it job by job. That said, it was a right. Decent first aid facilities, stopping people walking levels, there was no rules on that.
We should have always kept that in the agreement, so like an appendix. The Green Book could have been an appendix in the agreement, but anyway, that's looking back.
It was a wonderful document. It was worth the struggle, and a lot of the conditions that are in the EBAs and established in the industry now were won through the Green Book. So, sort of even while we were blueing and fighting, Longy, there was still a drive forward. But I think when the unions finally united and buried the bitterness of the deregistration, that was a great wind in our sails, and I think it was the best thing for workers.
And it was a good thing. It was a lot of work doing that, though, wasn't there, to amalgamate and getting it all together. But as you said, look, I consider it just like the old days. It's like with the BLs all back together and everyone's sort of back in one gang, and I think it's the best thing that's ever happened, but geez, a long, hard road.
Well, it's all the unions, really. I mean, I think it's a union. If you look through now, you've got people that are carpenters, builders, labourers, painters, scaffolders, riggers,
so
train drivers.
After you worked for the builder, so you became an official, or you were a shop steward, obviously, first?
I was barely a shop steward, mate. Barely. I was pretty inexperienced when I became elected as an organiser in '88. I think they... I was talked into it against my
Who talked you into it?
Actually, probably Ray Collins,
the
old bloke,
the
old secretary,
Basket Weaver.
He was Ray was an amazing bloke, if you knew him.
No, BWIU.
BWIU. He's a carpenter. But Ray was one of those blokes. He'd been up in New Guinea in the army, done it hard. There were many of the officials when we started, Longy, that were, that were veterans of the Second World War and that had come back.
Normie Wallace?
Norm Wallace was in Z-Force. Of course, Marco Masterson was a Radha to Brook and so many others. But they came back and they weren't the people that were glorifying the war. They were the people that had fought the war and been through the Depression, and they were fierce trade unionists who really all of those people built a great platform for members for the future.
They knew how to struggle, that's for sure, didn't they?
And they were afraid of nothing. Because having been through a real war, everything else I think paled into insignificance, for them.
So
puts everything in perspective.
You weren't a shop steward long, but you became an official, yeah?
Yeah, I got sent to the western suburbs of Melbourne. I found out afterwards they thought I lived there at the time, but I was living in Richmond. And I didn't know the area that well. I had to drive around with the Melways in one hand, and there were no mobile phones, pages only.
Did you have a radio, a two-way radio?
No, the BLs had.
We had them. Yeah.
And you'd have to try and find a phone. You'd try and call in a building site and grab the boss's phone and commandeer it and use it to make your calls. And it was back in the office at the end of every day, and you might have. There's a lot of work. If you remember, around late '80s, it was a boom, and you might have 30 calls to return at the end of the day. Yeah.
So you're an official for how long?
From '88 till I'm going 31st of March next year officially. So,
I mean official before you became the national
organiser.
No. Before you become the national secretary of the CFMEU.
I was an organiser up till 2004 from '88. So about 16 years, is it? That right? Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So it's just
did a few different areas,
So I'm just trying to make the point. Anyone in the unions, it's not about who's been the university longest or who's got the biggest stack of books or who wants to fucking go here. It's about people that start from the bottom and work their way up and know the grassroots and fair dinkum about trade unions. You've never wanted to be a politician or anything. You've stuck with the union for your whole life. And you're going to retire a staunch union bloke. So that's just a lesson for people out there who might want to go down that path.
Yeah, well, I loved working in the industry. I wasn't dead set on becoming an official when I started. I loved working in the industry. I loved the characters and that you met people from every country. You met So many interesting people. You're working outside different places.
Who was,
getting well paid.
who was the biggest character you met down in Victoria in the construction industry?
Oh,
That's a hard one, I know.
well,
Because the old days there was plenty of them.
union officials or on the job?
Oh, anyone.
Oh, there were some wonderful people on the job. I remember working down at, the Como job was just full of them. Davey Baker on the cranes down there. Mickey Finn was a great character. Another fella who, sadly we lost recently.
Passed away
recently. He was a tough character in his own way, Mick, but very considerate. And he used to
Heart of gold.
He would take young workers and explain things to you. Never look down on you, and he'd teach you a lot of things about safety, about how to work well. He passed his skills on. But there were many characters down there, and some of them not so good as well. Not so good.
Well, you'll have a bit of both, bit of salt and pepper, yeah. So and you've had to deal, and I must admit that the job you've had, I mean, we're all always having a shot at you and all that, but I think a lot of times tongue in cheek, because it's not an easy job you've had to do, keeping all the secretaries of the unions all over Australia happy, and if you can ever do that, you'll get a Nobel Peace Prize. But I think you've done a pretty good job, and you've been very good representing unions in the press when they're all around you, throwing questions at you. So I mean, along the road there, I mean, what are your highlights? What are your lowlights? What have you achieved? What do you think what have you left behind? For the unions,
Well, I think it's what the unions achieved. I've achieved nothing on my own.
But I mean,
everything we've achieved's been a collective. But I look back and, as I said, Super was already here when I started, but I think we've improved it a lot, and I think we can improve it a lot more. I think, obviously, I was part of the campaign, along with a lot of other people. I was still on the job when we fought for redundancy in Incolink and the Green Book. That was a fantastic thing. I think the 36-hour week in Victoria, we swam against the tide.
Everyone was against it, including some of our own.
Yeah, people didn't think it was achievable, and it was the wrong time. It was always the wrong time to get shorter hours. But not only did we get the extra RDO, we also started to put some boundaries around the hours of work, because, that boom in the late 80s, people were working 70, 80 hours a week sometimes, and it is not safe. It's terrible for families, and I think the fact that we actually put an upper cap on overtime was important, and the workers welcomed it. A lot of people thought workers would hate it. Workers welcomed it. Aside from that, I think this is more of a defensive thing, Longy, and I'd rather be on the front foot than talk about defence, but we need to acknowledge that when the Howard government established the ABCC, and of course, Peter Reith died the other day, and of course, his attack was mainly on the MUA, but the CFMEU was right in their targets, and there is no doubt that they thought that the ABCC and the Royal Commissions they called would reduce us to a weak union. They wanted to do what Thatcher did to the British Miners' Union and take the union into a union that couldn't stand up for its members anymore. And here we are, 18 years later, 18 years after Terry Cole and the other stooge Hayden, and the union is still a strong, effective union, stands up for its members. The fact that the Fin Review and the Murdoch Press and what we call Nine Entertainment now, Costello's Media, the old Fairfax, attack us all the time, I actually take it as a badge of honour for our union.
We've got more members than we ever had.
Yeah, well, we got good membership, but also I think the members understand that, look, we're not perfect, right? Our union makes mistakes. But I've said it a lot of times, when it comes to the rights and safety and wages for construction workers, we're the only ones in there trying. Other construction unions too, but we're the ones that are in there trying.
Now, just briefly, we've appointed the new Australian-wide Secretary of the Union, and you can announce his name and where he comes from, and just briefly give us a bit of a...
Yeah, sure. When the last election for National Secretary came, I indicated to the branches that I thought we needed to transition to a new leader over the time, and so this is a process I initiated, so just to make it clear, because everyone always says, were you pushed or did you jump?
Yeah.
It's not a question of that. I thought it's time, 16, 18 years in this job, you need to get some new blood in, and We talked to a number of people around the place. Not a lot of people wanted to jump up into this job because of the travel and the constraints, but Zach Smith is the secretary of our ACT branch, and he hasn't had that position for long, but he's been an organiser most of his adult life. He's worked in some hard organising areas, not just on the big jobs. He's a smart guy, he's a strategist, he's articulate, and he's in his mid-30s. And I think the fact that he's committed to this job, to do this job, and he has the unanimous support of the branches is a really good thing.
It's a good start.
Yeah, and...
Normally it's a shit fight before we get him in.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, I mean, sometimes you've got to have democratic processes in the union.
Yep.
But I think when you do agree on a strong candidate, and he'll stand for election, he'll fill a casual vacancy when I go next year, early next year. But he'll face election like all of us. He's already elected to the National Conference. And I'm really happy that Zach's doing it. We're already we're already doing the stuff together. We're doing meetings together, and he's going to be terrific for the union, in my view.
All right, well, that's a fantastic report, Dave, and on behalf of the Concrete Gang, on you, we'd like to thank you for always making yourself welcome, available to come and talk on the show, and we appreciate that because the listeners out there, want to know what's going on and stuff at your level. Me and the old campo, we're a bit below that, aren't we, mate? We're just. But anyway, it's great to have you come on. But we're going to cut to a track, and we're going to couple of more issues to talk to Dave about before we handball him off. But what are we going with, Campo?
We're going with the Doors, mate.
Well, I've been down so goddamn long that it looks like up to me. Well, I've been down so very damn long that it looks like up to me.
so long.
There it was, the Doors. And we're just having a chat then while that was playing. And one thing we think Leo and the family be happy about is at least he outlived bloody Reef, that rat who ran the blue down the docks and all that. But anyway. All right, now we're going to move on. Dave, we'd like to talk about the new IR legislation. We haven't got a lot of time, but you can put a short, brief coverage on that, mate.
Yeah, well, that bill's passed the House of Reps, the lower house, and goes on to the Senate. Big business is in a massive campaign against it. Of course, you got the employer groups, so they talk as if they're the employers, but we know that the master builders really represent big property developers and big contractors. A lot of the small subbies don't really support the NBA because they support them being screwed by bad security of payments laws. But anyway, they're dead set against it. The gas companies, Mr. Knott from the Mines and Metals Association, he says they're going to spend $20 million campaigning against the bill, and he says they've got 800-pound gorillas, corporate gorillas on board, not
silverbacks.
Not concrete gang gorillas, corporate gorillas, and they're not gorillas. I mean, the gorillas have got better manners than those people.
I'll put our gorilla up against them any day.
Yeah. So you got these companies. They're the same ones that are jacking energy prices up, taking advantage of the war in Europe to put their energy prices up 700%, and they don't want to give people a pay rise. How would you, this is what's going on. From our point of view, the bill is not perfect. They've excluded certain things from the bill that we think should be in. We're concerned about some of the bargaining and arbitration measures in there. But there's a very important thing that every construction worker should think about, and that is that this is a bill that fulfils the ALP's campaign promise, their commitment and their mandate to abolish the ABCC. So the NBA head was on radio the other day and she was whinging about the bill and carrying on. And Patricia Karvelis on Radio National said to her, the government has got a mandate to abolish the ABCC, haven't they? They took it to the election. And she had to admit that the government's got a mandate. But she wants the government to break their promise. So that's really the greed of the big property developers on display there. They don't care what the Australian people say. They just want to maintain anti-union laws. And so we hope the bill passes the Senate.
Especially when you see the report from the ABCC about how their inspectors say it borderlines harassment, what they do to the builders.
Campo, what Campo's talking about, there was a thing in the paper we saw yesterday. They did an internal survey of ABCC inspectors, most of whom got the sack because they couldn't get jobs as dog catchers. But anyway, but they say themselves...
My mate's a dog catcher. He's a pretty cluey bloke.
Well, I hope he lets the dogs go. But they say that it's a secret report and the ABCC's trying to suppress it. They threaten the the Sydney Morning Herald journalist with jail if he puts the report out. Poor old,
as they do.
It's a bloke, Aberdeen Angus. And they say that morale's terrible, no one trusts each other, and that the way they treat employers is borderline harassment. No wonder Scott McBurney, the failed umpire...
wine quaffer in the business class.
Is no wonder he is trying to suppress that report and keep it secret. I mean, what a shameful thing. Taxpayers' money and he keeping it secret.
All right, listen, mate, it's been great to have you on today, and we could talk for hours, and we will be bringing you back because we've got a few other issues. We've got the election coming up and a few other things we want you to talk about, but we're running out of time today. So before we go, we've got to shit count a few builders and scallywags. We've got to get that on board, don't we, Camp?
Yeah, mate.
You're in the chair, brother.
Ray and Dong, the gang bosses who are supplying plasterers at lower rates to all the employers. And some of the big employers, we know you've got them. We're going through it. So we're back on the plaster campaign, Ray and Dong.
Well, let's go for...
I hear they don't pay super.
They don't pay nothing. They're paying under the table, ABN, the whole lot, rorting their workers.
Gang bosses. That's the other thing. The gang bosses are back. We tried cleaning that up, but they're back. They're recruiting. They're doing all sorts of shit things. The gang bosses will be camped in a coffee shop near the job, manipulating the Chinese brothers and sisters, making millions and ripping them off. So make sure you're all over that.
Just so on a gang boss, so you know what it is, it's a bloke who supplies labour to the plaster industry and all that. Has no EBA, just doing a backdoor.
Quick one from you, Dave. Master Builders.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking Master Builders, but I actually reckon it should be McBurney, you know, for his borderline harassment.
We haven't gone through all of them yet. Arc 3.
Arc 3, using the coarse language and telling union officials they should get off the job and be an harassment.
Kelly formwork.
Kerry
formwork. We don't know what it is, but it starts with K.
Yeah, whinging about being on. They're more Suki Lala, mate. They're whinging about Facebook, so...
And we've also got Shaped in there. EBA don't company, but doing anything but EBA, so we're on to them.
Bad Shape is what I hear.
Very good, Dave. Very good.
Dimmesy Concreting out of Geelong. He was bragging about how he went to South Africa and shot the big three. So that means
what about that?
Shot elephants?
Yeah,
No.
lions.
I got the text last night. I said, who would do... What sporting thing is going to shoot an elephant? Even I reckon I could do that.
I hope he never shot a gorilla.
No. You wouldn't get a silverback, mate.
No.
Right, over Sookies. We've got the non-EBA companies are sooking out because they're missing out on jobs by 20,000. Please get on board or shut the fuck up.
Get out.
All right, so who's winning Scallywag?
Oh, mate, obviously I reckon the ABCC, but it's hard to go past a lion shooter or an elephant killer.
Jesus, what about that? Yeah. The Master Builders, geez, they're pretty ordinary. What's the name?
At the Master Builders?
Danita Warren is the CEO.
Danita Warren, all right. Well, who are we going with? Let's go. I'm going with the Master Builders.
Oh, I'd vote for the ABCC, mate. Borderline harassment.
And you'd vote for that? All right.
Mate, I'll go with the ABCC.
Right, ABCC, it is borderline harassment.
Got on your campaign.
They have done so much. The back.
And we've only got one Suki.
We've done the numbers.
You have. You've got me.
Yeah.
So, and the Suki Lala, we've only got one, and that's the non-EBA companies. Talking about the EBA companies, will join up or shut up. Simple as that. Yeah. So, look, Dave, thanks very much, and we'll have you back, but all the best for your future, and you've done a great job for the unions, and we're very proud to call you a concrete gang mate, all right?
Good on you, Gorilla.
All right.
So good on your campo.
And we'll go out in the same old way. Dare to struggle.
Dare to win.
And if you don't fight,
you lose.
And it's good morning from the Concrete Gang campo.
And what are we going out with, Dave? He picked the song.
What are we going out with, Dave?
I think we're going out with the Dropkick Murphys Rose Tattoo. That's what I heard.
Tell the story, this life had many shades. I'd wake up every morning and before I'd start each day I'd take a drag from last night's cigarette that smoldered in its tray. Down a little something and then be on my way. I traveled far and wide and laid this head in many ports. I was guided by a compass, I saw beauty to the north. I drew the tales of many lives and wore the faces of my own. I had these memories all around me so I wouldn't be alone. Some may be from showing up, others are from growing up. Sometimes I was so messed up and didn't have a clue. I ain't winning no one over, I wear it just for you. I got your name written here in a rose tattoo, in a rose tattoo. Your name written here in a rose tattoo.
You've been listening to a 3CR podcast produced in the studios of independent community radio station 3CR in Melbourne, Australia. For more information, go to allthews.3cr.org.au.